ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधाजलधे महितोपनिषत्कथितार्थनिधे हृदये कलये विमलं शरणं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं। समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो नमः, ऋषिभ्यो नमः, मुनिभ्यो नमः, गुरुभ्यो नमः, देवताभ्यो नमः। श्रीवेदव्यासमहर्षये नमः, श्रीवैशम्पायन महर्षये नमः, श्री आद्यशङ्करमहर्षये नमः, श्री याज्ञवल्क्यमहर्षये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Saluting all the gurus, all the devatas to bless us with the Brahma Vidya systematically, thoroughly. May every word, sentence which we are studying, chanting of the Upanishad along with Bhashya come to our understanding very clearly so that we are able to do our dhyana sadhana to experience the self. In the chanting we have done yesterday, the Siksha Valli, today the starting of the Brahmananda Valli for our chanting. Om Athadvitiya Brahmananda Valli. Om Sahana Vavato Sahano Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmavidapnoti param तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेदनिहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन् सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चिते ते तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाश सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरावः अद्य पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणः पक्षः अयमुत्तरः पक्षः अयमात्मा इदं बुद्धं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति अन्नाद्वै प्रजाः प्रजायन्ते याः काश्च पृथिवीकश्रिताः अतो अन्नेनैव जीवन्ते अथैनदपि यन्त्यन्ततः अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठम् तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते सर्वं वै तेन्नमाप्नुवन्ति येन्नं ब्रह्मोपासते अन्नगं हि भूतानां ज्येष्ठम् तस्मात् सर्वौषधमुच्यते अन्नात् भूतानि जायन्ते जातान्यन्नेन वर्धन्ते अद्यतेत्ति च भूतानि तस्मादन्नं तदुच्यत इति तस्माद्वा एतस्मादन्नरसमयाद् अन्योन्तर आत्मा प्राणमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्राण एव शिरः व्यानो दक्षिणः पक्षः अपान उत्तरपक्षः आकाश आत्मा पृथिवी पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति प्राणं देवा अनुप्राणन्ते मनुष्याः पशवश्च ये प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यते सर्वमेव त आयुर्यन्ति ये प्राणं ब्रह्मोपासते प्राणो हि भूतानामायुः तस्मात् सर्वायुषमुच्यत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मात् प्राणमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा मनोमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य यजुरेव शिरः ऋग्दक्षिणः पक्षः सामोत्तरः पक्षः आदेश आत्मा अथर्वाङ्गिरसः पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 ओम अद श्रीकृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ओम यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते अथ प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ पञ्चमोऽनुवाकः व्याहृति उपासना मन्त्राः. Let us chant the Panchama Anuvaka, which we are almost completed in our discussion. Chant करें. ॐ भोर्भुवः सुवरिति वा एतास्तिस्रो व्याहृतयः तासामुहस्मै तां चतुर्थीं माहाचमस्य प्रवेदयते मह इति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा अङ्गान्यन्या देवताः भूरिति वा अयं लोकः भुव इत्यन्तरिक्षं सुवरित्यसौ लोकः मह इत्यादित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते भूरिति वा अग्निः भुव इति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्यः मह इति चन्द्रमाः चन्द्रमसा वाव सर्वाणि ज्योतिगंसि महीयन्ते भूरिति वारुचः भुव इति सामाने सुवरिति यजोगंसि मह इति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मणा वाव सर्वे वेदा महीयन्ते भूरिति वै प्राणः भुव इत्यपानः सुवरिति व्यानः मह इत्यन्नम् अन्नेन वाव सर्वे प्राणामहीयन्ते तावा एताश्चतस्रश्चतुर्धा चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः तायो वेद स वेद ब्रह्म सर्वेऽस्मै देवा Balimavahante. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. We are seeing the Vyaharuti Upasana mantras. So, the general Devata Upasana mantras are the Dravyatmaka. Even though they are Dravyatmaka, the Dravyas are used, yet using the Dravyas and doing the Prakriyas is not the Upasana. But using the Dravyas, doing the Prakriyas with the knowledge that what I am practicing is the fact. But in me, I have all the non positive or opposite thoughts. Through this Upasana Prakriya, I am replacing that non positive opposite thoughts with the correct or positive right thoughts. So, in the Dravya Upasana, there is a arpana of the vastus, whether it is in Yajna, Swaha Idannamama, whether it is Upasana, Om Shri Krishnaya Namaha, Ramaya Namaha, Shivaya Namaha. But in the Vedic Vyaharthi Upasana, what is done is the practice is done for realizing what exactly there. Why what exactly is there is not known by us, and we are taking one thing for the other, the confusion. For example, if you take the Vishnu Upasana, Abhishek of the Vishnu and Ashtottaram and Mangala Arati, Pranama, they are all prakriyas. For that, various dravyas are used. It's okay. But what exactly is done, having doing which it is called as upasana, is in that shaligrama we are seeing the Vishnu. Now, where is Vishnu in shaligrama? It's a very raw, gross mind which will ask this question and also find the answer that there is no Vishnu in the shaligrama. In fact, what is Vishnu? He is not only the Sheshashayi, the Kshetrasagarashayana, Sarvavyapaka is the Vishnu. Sarvavyapaka Vishnu at one point is the Sheshashayi. But we have fixed our mind that Vishnu means Sheshashayi, and only then he will be like that in Shankara Gadavadma. In other places, he is not there. The fact is, Vishnu is there in every place, in every form, and in every name, both as the transcendental Sachidananda as well as the immanent that the Nama Rupa which is there. Like even in the Sheshashayi Bhagavan, Bhagavan is there in him as the Parabrahma, which is all pervading, and also in that Rupa Nama of the Sheshashayi, transcendental and immanent, both of them. But that Vishnu, who is transcendental, immanent, is he there only there in that Sheshashayi? No, he is there everywhere. That is what we have to discover. And what is the non discovery aspect of it? The condition in the mind that Vishnu means Sheshashayi. He is not anywhere else. See, that problem in the Saguna Upasana is when we see the Vishnu in the Sheshashayi, we forget that Vishnu is everywhere else also. Therefore, that Sheshashayi Vishnu is brought in the form of Shaligrama only to make us do the Upasana in which the Vishnu is not there in the Shaligrama, is removed and replaced by the Vishnu is there in the Shaligrama. Now, in the Shaligrama Rupa itself is Vishnu. In the Shaligrama, the Sheshashayi Vishnu can come and give us the darshana if the upasana is very powerful. And in the very Shaligrama, the Vishnu in his transcendental definition called as Satyam Jnanam Ananta Brahma also is there. Understood? So the final that Vishnu Rupa is Parabrahma is through meditation. The Shaligrama is in the Vishnu alone in the Shaligrama Rupa is Upasana. While doing which, it is only a stone. That aspect is removed. Where is it removed? Not in that Shaligrama, from our own mind. Therefore, what is the Upasana Phala? That be attentive. Upasana Phala is what? This worship I am doing of this stone. It is not a stone, it is Vishnu only. So, by doing that it is Vishnu, am I creating the Vishnu there? Or am I bringing the Vishnu from somewhere there? No. I'm only realizing the fact that the all pervading Vishnu, because he is all pervading, he should be pervading all, therefore, he is pervading this also. When this upasana is not done, it was only a stone, which is not a complete answer. In fact, there is nothing called as a stone or an idol or any other thing in the world bereft of or without the Vishnu. So, discovering Vishnu, transcendental, immanent, is the goal of life. When you discover the Vishnu transcendentally, you experience the Vishnu in your own Atma. When you discover the Vishnu in the immanent world, wherever whatever interactions you do, you know they're only Vyavahara, but all are happening in Bhagavan Vishnu only. That protection will be there. If this is not done, what will happen? That Vyavahara will be taken as real. By which what's happening? Though it is unreal, you are taking as a real, the consequences you have to face of bandhanam. So too, because you take it as real, our attention never goes to the actual Vishnu. Then we are denied of that also, we are unnecessarily troubled here also. See, like the Matru Devo Bhava. All the three are there. She is a woman also, she is a mother also, she is divinity also. We see as a woman, first of all. But gave birth to me, therefore she is my mother. But in her, in and through her, who is there? The Jaganmata alone is there. So seeing Jaganmata in the mother is Upasana. It is fact, if Jaganmata is everywhere, then she must be there in the mother also. So when you see as mother, you get a different blessings from her of taking care of you, loving you and all. Seeing her as Jaganmata, Jaganmata will express through her in blessing in a higher and greater manner. So to Pitru Devo Bhava, so to Acharya Devo Bhava, so to the Atiti Devo Bhava. Atiti Deva is a culmination wherein every being whom I go to meet or they come to me is none but the Devata only, Paramatma. It's an Upasana. This Upasana will do what? Remember, it not necessarily brings the Vishnu into the Shaligrama. It's not necessary that Devata comes into your mother. No need for it to happen. With the Upasana, mother is Devi Swarupa is understood or accepted. Means what? The imminent way of the Lord's presence is accepted. So what I am saying is Paramatma in the Rupa of the Jagat. The other Paramatma whom I want to see as Vishnu or Krishna or Rama, for that either you be born in that their yuga or you do the upasana, they come give and darshan and go. Then the same Paramatma, when you have to discover him as transcendental, you have to rise above your own inner Panchakoshas and see him in your own self as Atma. So Atma Rupi Paramatma, Avatara Rupi Paramatma, Jagad Rupi Paramatma. If the upasana is not done, then we get carried away by what is presented to us by the senses and mind, which tell the world as if real, it is different from each other. It is not real, it is only imaginary projection. The differences in the world are only the Vyavaharika purpose, transactional purpose. Otherwise, like two chairs are transactional purpose, two different. So that two people can sit on that. एक में एक. This is transactional purpose. But that doesn't mean that the substratum of this chair and that chair are different. Both are same plastic. What is happening when we differentiate this and that chair as different? The reality and its oneness is forgotten. You understand? Then these two chairs are taken as real and separate from each other. Then what will it create? ये तुम्हारा कुर्सी है मेरा कुर्सी वाला. All kursi ka kissa starts happening. All raga dveshas are born after seeing the world as something other than God and different to each other, and they are real. All that is avoided by the upasana. And remember, the upasana of Vishnu and Shaligrama doesn't stop there. Thereafter, anywhere I see Shaligrama is Vishnu. It will not stop there also. Not only anywhere the Shaligrama, but any stone is Vishnu. When any stone is Vishnu, then the plant also is Vishnu. When the plants are Vishnu, the animals also are Vishnu. Animals are Vishnu. Vishnu is not animal. Then, when animals are Vishnu, then every human being is Vishnu. The Upasana will change the entire thought pattern, which earlier was that all these world of names and forms are real. The fact is, all the world names and forms are only transactional. Real is Paramatma only. Because the transaction is required for his Leela, for your and our eking out the Prarabdha and doing our Dharma and Sadhana. In the form he came. In this form he is appearing. Same thing. For the transaction person of purpose of using it as a chair, using it as a table, the plastic appeared as chair and table. Just like using the chair and table words, as well as using the chair and table for the purpose of sitting and writing, when we were so busy in that, the fact is forgotten that the chair and table are nothing but plastic. What Vedanta says is, you use the chair table for transaction, but don't forget the plastic in that. The one level of finding is the plastic, means the cause of the chairs or the table. Second level is that plastic in its eternal or ultimate form is nothing but Sachidananda. That Sachidananda is nothing but my own self. So a saint at the realized state of experience of the self is experiencing a self only, which is permeating everywhere, means this one. So, in the three stages, first Vyavaharik Dharma and Antakarana Shuddhi, second stage is Upasana of seeing the Lord everywhere in every name and form. Third, seeing the same Lord as our own self beyond all name and form on the seat of meditation. So, Vyavahara, Upasana, Dhyana. In Vyavahara, we take them only for the transaction purposes, dharma, dharmic way. वही लोग देना है. Any addition of raga, dvesha and all, they're all self-created. They're all vasanas. They're all ignorance born. They're all advanted. They will make the world real. They will never allow us to do the upasana. They will never allow us to do the meditation. They will never allow us to take us to ourselves to the reality experience. Then we will always be in the bondage of ignorance. But when the antakarana is Shuddha antakarana, the vyavahara is done as dharma, then the mind is free from any rajatama guna. With that mind, we do the upasana. In the upasana, sample of Shaligrama or Vishnu or any idol we take, and we change our mind's thoughts that it is a stone or it's an idol or it's a metal to it is Bhagavan. And that Bhagavan who is in my Shaligrama is there in everywhere in the whole world. And then that Lord who is there everywhere in the world cannot be this stone like Shaligrama. He should be something different. And that different is Satchidananda. That Satchidananda or Satyam Jnanavananta Brahma, in its experience, it cannot be object to me, it has to be subject, therefore it is me. Listen carefully. This is how, when the sadhana, shastra is understood, sadhana is understood and practiced, these are the changes, transformations in our understandings, in our visions, in our practices, in our experiences happen. So, in this way, slowly we have to try to grasp the subtleties of Shastra, subtleties of the Upasanas or Sadhanas to be done. And remember, studying Shastra, grasping that subject thoroughly, along with these two, most importantly, ourselves taking the mission in our hands of qualifying ourselves and doing the required sadhana, reaching ourselves. Take that in our own hands in as our mission, and then actually we have to do. Actually, we have to do. जस्ट लाइक नोबडी एट होम, वाइफ और चिल्ड्रन कोई नहीं है, तो आप अकेला खुद खाना बना के खाते हैं, पूरा बर्तन साफ, एंड हाउस इज केप्ट क्लीन, डू डू इट? नो. Exactly spirituality. In spiritual sadhana, Guru may give the knowledge, but you have to take the knowledge. Guru may give the guidance regarding what is the subject, what is the preparation, what is meditation. That guidance he gives, no, you have to take it. Like when nobody is at home, you are alone, the sabji wala gives sabji, you take it. The doodh wala gives doodh, you take it. Then you do the respective work and consume the things there. In the same way, God, Guru, Shastra, what they are giving, are we taking it or not? After taking it, then we have to do the required process. If it's a milk, heat it and whatever. The vegetable, wash it and peel it and cut it. Then make it into eatable sabji. The best is just boil and eat. Whatever raw eatable, you eat raw them. Then the health will be good as per the latest Ayurveda and trend, which we will see in next 10 years time. Everybody is going to खेती and taking the raw material, raw vegetable, tomato सब वहीं खाने लगेंगे. That is the best healthy way of living, as they say. So, in the same way, by the way, though it's not a part of the topic here, but we have to know that it is we who have to take charge and take given the things given by the Guru in the class. We have to work on them. We have to become clear about everyone there. So the definition of upasana we have to understand. Process and purpose of upasana we have to understand. Here also at every upasana, when the phala shruti is told, the phala is not for us to consume or enjoy or get stagnant there. As we told again and again, that phala indicates only one thing, that you are on the right path. Like when we are to go somewhere else, somebody says, भाई आप चलते रहोगे तो 20 किलोमीटर के बाद आपको एक जगह आएगा. The moment you see the jagah, you don't stop there. That is not your goal. Goal is Paramatma only. But that indicates that you have on the way you are traveling, therefore you can continue journey. Therefore, any phala of any of the upasana, whether it is Vishnu Sahasranama ho, Upanishad ho, only to indicate that we are in the path, goal is none of these temporary phala, goal is ultimate only the Paramatma. Then why the phala is told again? Only as if to tempt us, but one can get tempted and involved in them, but never should take it as the goal. Goal is only what we started studying in the beginning 3 4 days while studying the Sambandha Bhashya. Only why the Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya is equal to Brahma Anubhuti and Atma Anubhuti is the removal of the avidya as well as kamana. Only then the karma and karma phala rupi samsara goes away once for all. That's the moksha. No other way. So this we have to work on. That's what I am saying. In the first round, we are only browsing through Upanishad. In the seventh or eighth round, we become thorough in that. In the 10th round, the whole idea will be clear. Then you can start doing sadhana. I am telling it to me. You may need only 3 4 rounds. You are all genius. मुझे 10 राउंड लगेगा. जब तक पूरा एक एक बात चप्पा चप्पा कोना कोना सर्च करना होता है एविडेंसेस के लिए. इफ देयर एनी क्राइम हैपेंड इन द साइट ऑफ द क्राइम, इन द सेम वे in the Upanishad, chappa chappa, kona kona, you have to search out, understand, and then keep doing sadhana. By the way, so here now we are in the Vyahruti Upasanas. Please remember, in the first instance, the Vyahrutis are only Shabda. Bhurvua Swaha. Then the fourth Shabda, from where these three came, was discovered by Mahachamasa as Maha. He named it as Brahma. And that Brahma he experienced as an Atma, we also have to experience as an Atma. Further, the entire Upasana. In that Upasana Prakriya, the four things were told to us. In doing those four things, be attentive. From the Bhuhu Vyahruti through the Bhuvasva Vyahruti via Maha Vyahruti, listen carefully. We have to apprehend and comprehend that Brahma of the Upanishad, the Atma of the experience and liberation. If not the experience, at least the Upasana may, this is the Atma we have to come to. Maha iti tad Brahma sa Atma is the Mahavakya of this particular Anuvak. And that Atma, where is it? How is it? Will be told to us in the subsequent mantras or the Anuvakas, even the Vallis. So, what are the four things just for our remembrance? Bhuritiva ayam lokaha, Bhuva iti antariksham, Swarityasau lokaha, Maha iti aditya. This is how we have to know. Bhurbhosva are known to us. But innate to Bhurbhosvaha, for their continuous sustenance, Aditya is there, we have to do the Upasana of it. Or the one who is there supporting these three. What is the law principle here? What was said by Mahashamasa Rishi in the beginning only. When there are three exclusive words like Bhurbhosva, they have to be supported by the fourth. Okay, that fourth is the one which is permeating. That was the main understanding. All Upasana is based on that. He has assumed Maha. He has not seen the Maha. Maha is only understood as Brahma. Brahma is experienced as Atma. That will be told later on. What is created in us now is the belief and faith through the Upasana practice about the presence of the fourth, which is other than three, which will help us to get out of the three, to get into the fourth. Unless we get out of the three, we cannot get into fourth. So to get into the fourth, first we have to know that there is something fourth other than three. Not only that knowing, but it is a practice. What is a practice there? Two things. Other than three, there is the fourth one. I must attend to the fourth one. Means my attention should be on the fourth. Only when the attention is on the fourth is known. In the meantime, the attention from the three is withdrawn. Okay? Three is withdrawn. Okay, attention. Fourth is known. After knowing the fourth, when you look back, the fact which was said that all the three are permeated with the fourth, that is experienced. What would be the vision at that time? For the sake of form and name, the 1, 2, 3 may appear, but the experience is that the fourth alone is there in that form. It's like when I see the chair, I see the chair. When I see the table, I see the table. When the plastic itself sees the chair and table, just imagine एक प्लास्टिक वाला मटेरियल कुर्सी और टेबल को देख रहा है. So what would be its experience? It is me only in that form, this form, in that name and this name, in that utility and this utility. Name, form, utility belong to Vyavahara. It has its own transactional purpose. But that doesn't mean that me is disappeared and those three things are without me. I am not disappeared. I am there in and through all of them. Rather, they can't be without me. What is happening here? I am forgotten. Then the chair and table and their utility have become so real. Not only real, they have become compulsions. And I am involving life only in sitting on chair and using the table. It's called Vyavaharuki Satyam Mantre. And then Vyavahara never stops there. Then my chair, my table, your table, or table toot gaya, ye toot gaya. Then the entire samsara goes on. Means what? Everything happening in the world is a samsara if I don't know the truth. If the truth is known, everything is happening but not creating samsara. What is samsara? Taking it as real, then imagining it to be in a particular form, particular way, trying it to be like that. It is not there and becoming miserable. Is it not? Like children born 20 years age. What are they? They are like this. Now, what is to be given to them? Give this. whether it's money or job or encouragement or inspiration or guidance. How can your duty? You understand? Anything other than that, he is my son, he should listen only to me, he should behave only like this. These are all the unnecessary imagination created. That's called samsara. और ये ऐसा होता नहीं, therefore it is suffering. Like I am telling you the lesson. It's over. No, you must listen, you should not sleep. You must thoroughly understand. It's all though expected, but I can't insist. If I insist, I become samsari and you are enjoying your sleep in the class. So, in the world, around me, whatever is happening, about me, whatever is happening, in and through whatever is happening, me, all of this transaction, the real me is non acting. He is a substratum, he is a support, he is a real. Abiding in him, centered in him, either do the things or allow the things to happen. Like Bhagavan Surya or Brahma Deva abiding and centered in the Parabrahma Atma Swarupa, then they are doing it or they are allowing it to happen through them. Both are same. When they are doing it means they are taking the functional individuality and for performing the works responsibly. When they are allowing it to happen means they are just witness through them the Lord only happening. Therefore, they are not bound by their own individuality. They are not bound by their difference with the other individuals. They are not bound by their separateness from the Lord or the reality. Therefore, they are appearing as Surya Deva and Brahma Deva. They are working. Surya is working as giver of the light. Brahma is working as a creator. So to other people. Yet they are not bound. This is what is the realization. Slowly, steadily. So, what is so far taught here? It is an upasana in which the never imagined presence of the fourth started being imagined, and it is given so much value importance to such an extent that that alone is real, the other three are only expressions. Right now, the three are real, Bhurvosva Vyahrutis. The fourth Maha is never even imagined because Bhurvosva are seeable through the eyes, feelable through the senses, etc., feelable through the mind. Then what is the problem? Whatever is seen by the eyes, projected in the mind, or seen by the alone is real, we think. Like I look with the eye, the chair. Chair alone is not real there. There are so many things in that. In the chair, there is a plastic. And along the plastic, some alloys might have been added for it to be moldable. Then even though you don't see the in the chair, you will see in the chair all the instruments, all the whatever the electrical instruments which have molded the chair in that way. You have to be able to see in the chair the knowledge that the plastic can be made as chair. You have to see the person who conceived the idea, used the knowledge, used the apparatus, and molded the plastic into the chair. वो कुर्सी में देखने से नहीं दिखते, but वो है करके मानना, because if they are not there, chair cannot. Is it not? In the same way, the gross world which is seen by our senses alone is not real. In fact, the raw material of the world is something subtler, and the one who is conceiving it, the one who is molding it, the one who is presenting it in front of us, these are technically called as nimitta karana, upadana karana, 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 karma karana. For this world, they are there. And all of them, incidentally, are one Paramatma only. Therefore, what is final thought of Vedanta? It is one Paramatma himself becoming Upadana, Nimitta, Karana and Karana, Karana, appearing as this world. Oh. But it's all only in two stages we'll understand. First, intellectually thorough by many, many lives of listening contemplation. Then experientially pakka on the seat of meditation. Only on the seat of meditation, the experience becomes pakka that all that is seen is Parabrahma alone and that Parabrahma is me alone, that the journey ends. That is why all that is seen is Bhurvuva Swaha. Something other than those three is Maha. That Maha alone is Parabrahma. The Parabrahma alone is Atma. See what is said in the Upanishad. in this fifth Anuvaka, in the first 3 4 lines alone, what we discussed so far. So, all this explanation is given to convey to us that the Upasana is not doing it once formality may, no, continuously doing and being in that Upasana. Please remember, then only the dhyana, then only anubhuti. What we miss always is when we sit in the puja room and do the upasana to Ganapati or Vishnu, we think that 1 hour alone is upasana. No, no, no. There are two more upasanas. What is that? Every time we should be able to remember the Ganapati and Vishnu or Sharigram in your puja room, and immediately the thought that he is Bhagavan should be always in the mind. Extended by entire world of name and form is nothing but my own Vishnu or Ganapati. That maintenance of the thought of Paramatma in that stone presented to me by the eye is called Upasana. Upasana is not 10 minutes. Upasana is not 15 minutes. Upasana is as many times as possible, as long as possible, as continuously as possible. Many times leads to long time, longness leads to continuous. That is why upacharas are done so many times, so many. Dhyayami, avahayami, asanam, padyam, argayatniyam. From tomorrow we will study the same, or only after tomorrow in our evening Bhagavata, everything Bhagavan tells about all the upachara. While doing all of that, what's the common denominator? Common denominator is I am doing all this to the Lord in that idol. Means what? To the Lord only. Therefore, what is happening here? The Lord is being given this upasana or the upacharya or these different steps of the puja I am doing for the Lord. That is the thought. So, all the actions I do, all the objects I use for doing the actions slowly should disappear. And disappear means become less predominant. More predominant is to Bhagavan. Like when you have the guests at home. So you give them tea, coffee, and all. While doing all of that, your attention is not on the tea, coffee, snacks which you give. The attention is about the arrival of the guests and their glory or goodness or your relation with them. Therefore, your love or respect for them. The other things are transactions. They are the expressions of the love. That's it, or respect. But the real thing is recognition of that person and his glory. In the same way, in that stone, what is recognized is Paramatma. The glory of him is he is everywhere in the world. In general, particularly, he is the person to bless me or the God to bless me. Therefore, to get the blessings or to experience the blessings or to recognize the blessings, I am feeling his presence by doing the upasana. So all this and further many more tomorrow day after which all will go on adding up to this. At the same time, catch this main point. Upasana is all the time done. And we are always in the mood of Upasana. When we are always in the mood of Upasana, then only it's called Upasana. In that continuous mood of Upasana, what's happening? Fourth is becoming predominant. Third are becoming less predominant, though we are involving in them. Then the inquiry of the fourth. That fourth is nothing but Brahma. The meditation on the Brahma is nothing but the Atma experience. That is the subject in the fifth and subsequent Anuvakas. So, Ayam Lokaha, Antariksham, then Suvaha is equal to Bhurbhuva Swaha. Then these are all supported by, substantiated by, existing because of, arrived from, and entering into the fourth, it is called Aditya. What that Aditya has to be referred as what? Adityena vava sarve loka mahiyante. That Aditya is the one because of all the lokas are mahiyante. We go from here to there, first to Bhur Bhuva Swaha, then the corresponding the lokas, then all the three are go to the fourth Vyahruthi, the Mahata, and from that standpoint, you have to look back and say, it is because of Aditya, these three are there. So I am there, I am there, I am there. Parents are not there, parents are not there, parents are not there. This is how we live. I am there, parents are there. I am alive because the parents are there. Reverse karo, because the parents are there, I am alive. Which is a final fact. This is the result of the Upasana. In the same way, because of Aditya, these three are there. Earlier, Aditya was not in the vision only. These three alone are real. Then who is an Aditya? He is the Brahma. Who is the Brahma? It is Atma. In that, there are two stages. No, I hope you will not get confused if I explain right now, which is a subject of tomorrow or day after. Ki this Upasaka, interestingly, with this Upasana, becomes one with the Agni or one with the Vayu or one with that Mahat Tattva called as Aditya. Means in Aditya, the individual who is there now, through whom Parabrahma is expressing, is the Upasaka who has done the Upasana of these three Vyahrutis of three lokas of Bhuloka, Bhur Bhuvasva Vyahruti as Ayam Lokaha, Antariksha Lokaha, and Svar Lokaha. That individual did this Upasana so much, so much, so much that these three are supported by the fourth Aditya, that he himself got qualified to become Aditya. That will be the meaning of Aditya is the Atma of these three. Then subsequently, behind the Aditya, behind the Anna, behind the Brahma, what there is Parabrahma, it will be taught. That's why I said it is tomorrow or day after subject. It will come. Bhurityagno pratitishthati means what? He will become one with the Agni Tattva. Bhuvariti Vayau Suvarityaditye. What is said in Yoga Shastra as with the mind which is Samyamita, when you focus it on various things, you get various siddhis. सब वो योग शास्त्र में आता है. So too in Bhakti Shastra, when you do upasana to the Lord with a purpose, that purpose is fulfilled. If there is no purpose is there, we are taken by the Lord to His loka. You know, that's alokya, sarupya, samipya, sayujya. So what is said in yoga in this pasha, what is said in bhakti in this language, in the upasana prakriya, this it will happen as the intermediate stage. That we become that. Otherwise, who is Brahma, who is Vishnu, who is Indra, who is Surya, who is Chandra? Parabrahma is beyond all that. Okay? Then who are all they must be? Then evolved beings up to that level they reach. That's why in the Phala Shruti that will be told later on. But that is also not ultimate journey. It's only intermediate stage. Is it not? It is intermediate. Final is Aham Brahmasmi only. And that is only Anubhuti. So through Upasana, slowly we are trained to reach towards that. So all the four sets keep in the mind. Bhur, Bhuva, Suva, Maha, main Vyahruti. Make a table. Bhur, Bhuva, Suva, Maha. Table, एक table में चारों लिखो. Then here you write the four ones. The Lokas, then the Jyotihi, then the Vedas, then you got Prana. Okay, Lokas. Under Bhuhu, Ayam Lokaha. Under Bhuvaha, Antariksham. Under Suvaha, then Swarlokaha. Then under the Maha, Aditya. लोकों का हो गया. Now come to the Jyoti. Under the Bhu, it is Agni. Under Bhuvaha, it is Vayu. Under Suvaha, it is Aditya. Under Maha, Chandramaha. Third one, the Vedas. Under the Bhu, it is Rigveda. Under Bhuvaha, it is Samaveda. Under Suvaha, it is Yajurveda. And then under fourth one, Maha, it is Brahma or the Omkar. So to come to the prana. Under the Bhuho is pranaha. Under Bhuha is it apanaha. Under Sva it is vyanaha. Under Mahaha it is annam. This should be a clear picture. You see Bhurvasva. You see Ayam Lokaha, Antariksha Lokaha, Svar Lokaha. But not at the cost of the Maha. That is called Upasana. Because you cannot be without seeing Bhur, Bhuva, Sva, Loka also. Because for the transaction they are required. For the Upasana also they are required. Therefore, it is never said that you reject them. Through them only you see. Hope you are catching it. Through them only we have to see them. For the transaction, for the Upasana purpose, they are used to reach the fourth. Then what should be our attention always on? The Brahma or the Chaturthi Vyahruti, the Maha, and on that only other three. In our understanding and acceptance, the importance of the fourth should grow, not the three. The three come and go, the fourth always remains. Fourth is permanent. Fourth is relatively more real than these three. Absolutely real is one, even beyond these four Vyahrutis, the Parabrahma. So the Parabrahma only is happening as for the Mahas. The Maha alone is happening the Trayo. The Trayo is the one in which we are living. So all this is said. Now in the last 2-3 mantras, Bhagavan Vrishi says those mantra, Bhashyakara specifically defines it or gives the commentary that we will chant and we will explain today for 10 minutes. What is said there? Tava etas chatasraschaturdhaha chatasraschatasro vyahrutayaha tayo veda saveda brahma sarve esmai devaha balima vahanti. This portion if you do, then the next one, Sayeshontar Hridaya Akasha Tasminayam Purusho Manomaya, that will be the pointing out of the location and the technique of discovering that Paramatma as ourselves, where the journey ends. Yeah. So here, Tava etaha chatasras chatasraha vyahrutayaha tayo veda saveda brahma sarvesmai vedaha balivavahanti. So this is the main mantra. What Bhashyakara says that these are more academic than the process of sadhana. But academically also, when we understand, the faith in our shastras grows. So what he says, straight away come to this bhashya of this fifth mantra of this fifth anuvaka. What is said? Evam, listen, uttarottara eka eka chaturtha bhavati. In this way, in each of them, the fourth one is the fourth one. Maha iti Brahma. No, everywhere it is said Maha, Maha, Maha. Then what is Maha is Brahma, Brahma is Atma, is not said in those things, in the four things. But in the first mantra it was told. Like Bhurva Suvartiva Tisro Vyarutayaha Tasa Mohasmaitam Chaturtim Maha Chamasya Pravedete Mahait. But there it is said Tad Brahma Sa Atma. But in the other places, Mahaiti Tad Brahma Sa Atma is not said. Like up to this M Lokaha, then Mahaiti Adityaha, then Aditya Brahma, Brahma Atma is not said. Aditya Vava Sarve Loka Mahiyante is said. So too, Chandramasa Vava Sarve Loka Mahiyante it is said. Chandra iti Brahma, Brahma iti Atma not said. But you have to do the addition of that. Because Shruti Mata need not repeat the same thing. You should have the concern for her not to give much much extra load of work to her. You have to add it. That's why he says Maha iti Brahma. Everywhere, wherever the Maha is coming, you have to add as it as Brahma. And what is Brahma? Be careful. Brahma iti Omkaraha. Here Brahma is Omkaraha. Why is Omkaraha? Because Shabda Adhikare Anyasya Asambhavatu. Because here we are using the Shabdas. We are talking about the Shabdas. तो शब्दों के द्वारा उपासना करते हैं तो शब्दों का अधिष्ठान में ही पहुंचना है हमको. तो शब्दों का अधिष्ठान क्या है? ओम ओनली. Om is the main Shabda. From where all the Mahashabdas have come, from where all the Triputli Shabdas have come. Therefore, here Brahma is Omkara eva. Anyasya asambhavat. Ukta artham anyato. The remaining thing it was said in the earlier one. How on each of the Vyahruti you have to do the abhinivesha of each of these, either the lokas or the jyoti or these Vedas or the pranas. This is already said. You take this data kept somewhere, keep on doing. जैसे बच्चे लोग जो भी टेबल्स होते हैं और कोई ग्रामर का होता है सामने पकड़कर रटते हैं, वैसे हमको मन में रटना है. In that mind we have to be very clearly doing the ratna of this called as upasana. Now, tava etaha chatasraha chaturtha iti. This is the sentence in the mantra. Why? What is the meaning of that? Tavai etaha, these, bhuhu bhuvaha suvaha maha iti chatasraha. Eka ekasha chaturda chatuprakaраha. Means simple meaning, this is how they are the sets of 4, 4, 4, 4. Be specific in your understanding. So that which is Maha, which are the three Vyahrutis, which are depending on that, you should never have doubt. So, what is the exercise's purpose here? If you want to be very subtle and careful in understanding, the nothing but the alertness aspect in us is being grown. The awareness aspect is being grown in us. With this alertness and awareness, without any confusion or ambiguity, we are understanding and recognizing the position of all the four. उपासना का अर्थ क्या होता है ना, अवेयरनेस अलर्टनेस को बढ़ाना. Generally what happens, we are in a lazy mood of non-thinking. Even if we think, only at the transaction level maximum we think. आगे पीछे वाले हम सोचते नहीं और कुछ. That is the lethargy of the intellect. And an intellect which is lethargic cannot inquire deep into the causes. And what we have to discover is the final cause of everything as Parabrahma. So, though here externally the practice of Upasana is done, but the consequence of it is not only becoming aware of the three and the fourth, but developing the level of awareness. This I'll tell you an example. Many people, whatever the food is given anytime, just kha lete like buffaloes. All of us are like that. But there are some people who are aware every time while eating the food. What is the awareness there? While eating only they are aware of with what ingredients this thing is made. That awareness of them is peculiar. In the house, four are there people, eaters. All the three eat as they are every day. They are born only for eating. But the fourth fellow only tells, Amma, you added little but chini in the rasam today, is it not? He says. She is surprised, yeah, beta, thoda hi maine add kiya. But he is aware of it. He says, काली मिर्च ऐड किया ना आज हमने, बाकी खाई जा रहे बट उनका अवेयरनेस लेवल कम है. Wherever the awareness level is there is the maximum chances of accidents. The local accidents we know, the spiritual accident is falling from the level of self through the level of jiva to the level of the body into the level of the life of ragadvesha, where we fight worse than the dogs on the road. Some people are very aware of while traveling. कुछ को समझ नहीं, 10 बार they go through that road, but still every time somebody has to send the location and then only. आजकल तो लोकेशन सबका ज़्यादा हो गया है. In Vedanta it is said, give up putreshana, vitteshana, lokeshana, but there are always lokeshana. Then only they will reach the destination. गली में ही है, but till that Google Amma says, take right, take left, there is a well, you jump it. Even to jump into the well, you need a Google. But there are some people, especially the drivers, एक बार जाते हैं ना, after 10 years also they go this way. And suddenly they tell, 10 years के बाद जाकर, यहाँ 3-4 पेड़ थे, खाली जमीन था, they say, yeah, 6 years back that was removed and the building is made. So through Upasana, three things happen. Our awareness level is increased. Second, the fact is being accepted. Third is the substratum. To know the substratum, we become qualified. First thing is level of awareness grows. Second is the fact is recognized. What's the fact? There's a fourth is a real fact on which the three are dependent. Then that the fourth one ultimately is the truth. For the recognition of the truth, we start becoming qualified. That's the Upasana. Like when I do the Upasana of Ganapati in the idol, the awareness of mine is increasing. Because Ganapati is Bhagwan, I am a Bhakta, I have to do the Upasana, they have to be alert. With alertness, every anga of him I do the Abhishek or wiping out or putting chandan and all. इस समय क्या हो रहा है? Awareness बढ़ रहा है. Second is accepting the fact. What is the fact? The Ganapati being everywhere, he is there also in the Murti. Then it leads to the level of qualification of contemplation. Then, which is that Ganapati who is always pervading and also in this idol? If you say, my Lord is all pervading, is in Ganapati, which is that Ganapati which is all pervading? All pervading Ganapati I have seen here. Now, this Ganapati I have to see everywhere as all pervading. That is possible only when you transcend the Rupanama outside, transcend the Panchakosha inside, you will discover. That ability qualification will come after the not without upasana. याद रख लेना इस बात को. Without what is said as Vyahruti upasanas here, then the Meda Kamana and Sri Kama before that, and before that the Samhita upasana and the Siksha upasana, we will not grow in our spirituality systematically in less time. By the way. And all these, Guru is to take the children in confidence in the ashrama. They have no other transact, other businesses. आश्रम का मेंटेन करो, कोई भी पूजा मंदिर में होता है कर लो, बाकी टाइम सत्संग, then the informal prashnottari, in that the disciple will also question. In that informal session, all the doubts of the formal class are thoroughly cleared. In the formal class, Guru will teach. Listen, the disciple have to listen. Then, before the evening informal session, the disciples have their own individual complete contemplation and then mutual discussion. Most of the things is sorted out there only because the senior disciples will be there. Whichever the things even senior disciple doesn't understand, all of them put together, go to the Guru and say, Guru Maharaj, what is the meaning of what you said here? Then Guru says, this is the meaning of that. This is how they used to become thorough in the subject, and then as they used to become thorough in the subject, accordingly they used to get inspiration also that therefore I must become spiritual. I must discover the self because it is so infinite, so wonderful, so glorious, so blissful, so liberating. So let me go for it. इस तरह से आश्रमों में होता है. हमको क्या है, 1 घंटा क्लास में दिन भर दुनिया में भटकते हैं, ये सारा उसमें 1 घंटे में सब चौपट होता है. When you come back tomorrow, not only we come with forgetting all this, but we come with one more day's load of our worldly interaction. That is why sadhanas become less effective. That doesn't mean that you stop everything and come only to the class. What it means is understand the process. Then, when a time comes in life given by the God, take that. Where all the things are done, responsibilities are done, you are free. Don't put new headaches on your head. Just relax after retirement of 55, 58 years. Dedicate only for this. I'm totally going out of topic and telling you I'm aware of it. If at this age of 40 to 55, regularly if you don't attend at least one class, the sufficient inspiration that I have to live my the later on life for the spirituality will not be generated, created. Instead of that, while living this life of 40 to 55 years, because of being so busy, you are not able to indulge in the bhoga of the world and you have created desire for that bhoga. When you get the opportunity called as retirement, those thoughts become predominant, then you do that only in the rest of the life. जब मैं ऑफिस जाता था नींद सफिशिएंट नहीं था, अब रिटायर हो गया हूँ, सो जाऊंगा. When I was going to the office, I never had breakfast, lunch, dinner properly. Now I'm retired, I'll do that. When I was in the office, I couldn't meet my sisters and brothers properly. So my life will be spent for that. So you understand, whatever you create the vasana, post-retirement, that only we do. But during this 40, 55 years age, along with your work, if you attend some classes, this thought will be developed. मैं सुन तो रहा हूँ लेकिन समझ नहीं आ रहा. I'm not becoming subtle in my understanding, not trying for meditation. Even sometimes I do, it doesn't happen because meditation doesn't happen when you do sometime. When you do only meditation, nothing other than, then only meditation will happen. That also for at least 2-3 decades. You understand? Such person, he will plan this. When I retire, I'll be more thorough in my. Such people's retired life is so glorious. In fact, that is a golden period of his life. Especially from the 58, 60, 62 to the 70, 72. Those 10-12 saal. And I also suggest some people, if you get good pension and sufficient money as there, by the age of 50, you get retired, voluntary, let somebody else do that. You enjoy even those 8 years, which are more dynamic, vigorous. I'm telling you totally out of topic, but then related as to how to help ourselves. But the main point is what? उपासना मतलब अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है. उपासना मीन्स करना है जो अनुभव के रूप में, अंडरस्टैंडिंग के रूप में पक्का होता है. So about these four sets, you keep on doing upasana. Then is mahiti chatasraha eka ekasha chaturda chatura prakaraha. No dha shabdaha prakara vachanaha. Dha shabda prakara means this is how they are. Don't try to mix them over. Admixture nahi karna. Is it not? When the nuts and bolts and screws and bearings are kept along with washers, उसका अपना अपना सेट होता है. जैसा है वैसे ही लगाना, थोड़ा इधर उधर वो फिक्स होता ही नहीं वहां. इन द सेम वे डोंट मिक्स अप दिस महाव्याहृतिस एंड द थ्री व्याहृतिस. इसका उधर उसका इधर मत लगा, जैसा है वैसा ही रखो. या देन ही सेज चतस्रः चतस्रः सत्यः चतुर्धा भवन्ति इति अर्थः. दिस इज हाउ each of them becoming four, like that the four sets are expressing. नम तासाम यथा क्लुप्ता नाम, वो तो है. अरे आप एक बार में बोल दिया, वी हैव अंडरस्टूड. व्हाई डू यू सेइंग तासाम चतस्र चतुर्थो व्याहृतः चतस्र चतुर्थो? व्हाई आर यू रिपीटिंगली सेइंग चतः चतः? बिकॉज पुनः पुनः उपदेशः तथा एव उपासना नियमार्थः. दिस इज लिटिल डिफरेंट थिंग, लिटिल सटल. तथा एव उपासना नियमार्थः. There are two things. So far we studied about Upasana. We are understanding important Upasana. More important than Upasana is what? Doing the Upasana as the niyama given. When we forget the process that is told and do it as we like, then the recipe won't come as it is expected. See, you study a recipe book or see the TV, so there they show you how to make a dish. That's called Upasana. Now, making the dish you tried 20 times, it still did not come out. What must be the reason? You might have not followed the niyama there. You took some of the steps for granted. Then you call that person, कोई doubt है तो आप मेरे को phone करिए. That is written. You call that uncle or auntie, whatever you taught. I followed exactly 10 times I did it. But why didn't the recipe come out? Then that person goes on asking. ये किया क्या तुमने? हाँ किया. वो किया था क्यों? हाँ किया. And he is also surprised. मैंने सब कहा ऐसा किया, still क्यों नहीं बना? After 1 hour, that fellow asked, little intelligent, did you light the stove? नहीं, why you didn't tell me? Because never tell you have to light the stove. I have a lighter sense me, I told you. But otherwise, one of the ingredient might be missed. It may be in quantity or quality, whatever, or the timings of it. तो उपासना नियमार्थः. तो ये तो बड़ा सब्जेक्ट है. दो चार बातें हम कहेंगे. क्या ना कि द होल वर्ल्ड इज नॉट हैफेज़र्ड, नॉट इरेगुलर, नॉट इन ए ट्रैफिक जैम सॉर्ट. इफ देयर इज a traffic jam, what is the meaning of it? The traffic whose meaning is to move got jammed. Traffic means movement. Jammed is not moving. So the entire world is moving or jammed. It's moving. It's a traffic. It is no jam there. What is the meaning of there's no jam? When will there be no jam? Even though the traffic is heavy, only when they follow the niyama. Entire world is following its niyama. Entire prakriti is following its niyama. That's why it's so beautiful. What is giving beauty to the world? What is the cause of beauty of the world? Is only one thing called niyama. Where the sun is rising, sun is setting, the moon is rotating, revolving, earth is rotating, revolving, because of which the days, years are happening, because of which the fortnights are happening. All of that is niyama. Every planet, its own orbit, it's moving. Even the humans and our satellites also, when they follow the niyama, then they are sending all the signals. You know, the PSLV sent the 3 days back. अपना कुछ गया है कि नहीं उसमें? ओनली सिंगापुर का भेजा है. आई डोंट नो, आई डिडंट लिसन प्रॉपर्ली. Polar satellite launching vehicle. Everything is following. Tree follows its niyama. River follows its niyama. Everything in the world follows niyama. Only the human stupid fellow doesn't understand niyama and doesn't abide by it. He becomes arrogant because of the freedom given to him. That's why he destroys himself and the prakriti. Though it is little away topic, but it is a main important because that habit of not following the outer niyama, we practice here also that sadhana जैसे मैं वैसा करता हूँ, जैसा चाहिए वैसा करते हो तो वो होता नहीं, जैसा करना है वैसा करो तभी होता है वो. Like puja, this niyama. You cannot do vastram samarpayami, then abhishekam samarpayami. Are buddhu, first abhishekam samarpayami, then vast. Do you do that full makeup करके फिर नहाते हो क्या? नहाकर करते हैं कि नहीं मेकअप? That's a niyama which is to be done where and how to do. Therefore, niyama, upasana niyamarthaha. Now I have to tell so many things here. One thought I'll share with you. One is it is the upasana this way done. Then only you will reach to that. That is the one meaning of niyama to be followed while doing upasana. Second is what? Any niyama to be followed is not only to do follow the niyama and get the result, but to create a habit of following. Like children are sent to school. For what? Not to learn the subject only. Then what? They are taught to keep on learning throughout life. Learning subject and learning to learn. These are the two purposes for which they are sent to the school because the life is a continuous journey to be successful. You have to keep on learning on. तो फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ्स सीखना है, सीखना सीखना एक सीखना है. जो सीखता ही रहता है, goes on learning, he goes on becoming wiser, then he always excels in his own performance, and as a result he will excel others also. The one who stops learning, then he never extend, never become more qualified. He will be just become stagnant only. Like that, here also, niyama following is not only for that. Niyama following is to learn the art of following the niyama, because as we grow subtler, when the Guru tells the niyama for the dhyana, all the rules, if you don't follow them, then you will not get the Paramatma. Why will you not follow as told by the Guru? Because at the time of Upasana also, you took it for granted and you made your own niyamas. In fact, the entire life, the niyama given by the Lord to us through Shastra, if it is followed, there will be not even an iota of dukkha. Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Karya Vyavastito Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharasi. Everything, even inhaling, exhaling, also there is a Shastra. The Pranayama Shastra. Along with that, if you do entire physiological functions, so to the psyche, are protected by the Prana Shakti for their own good health and longevity of life. But do we know that niyama? Do you know there is a niyama how to sit? Do you know there is a niyama how to sit for food? पढ़ने के लिए अलग बैठना होता है, खाने के लिए अलग बैठना होता है, गप्पे मारने के लिए बैठने की तरीका अलग होती है. But we don't know. We are so insensitive for everything. The whole purpose of life, we are insensitive at the highest level. We are insensitive about how much quantity of the food I must eat also. इतने बेवकूफ हम फिर क्लेम करते हैं हम इंटेलिजेंट. There are the niyamas. There is a niyama for sleep. The directional niyama is there. The softness, hardness of the bed niyama is there. The timing of niyama, the conclusive niyama. If you add spirituality, the niyama for a spiritual person is you should not sleep without doing some japa in the night before sleep. So that in the next morning, with the thought of the Lord, you get up. The niyamas, 3-4 hours before the sleep, you should finish your food. क्या हम कुछ चीज जानते हैं, क्या फॉलो करते हैं? इंद्रिय रक्षण, देयर इज अ नियम. मनो रक्षण, देयर इज अ नियम. देह रक्षण, देयर इज अ नियम. शक्ति रक्षण, देयर इज अ नियम. Then our position, power rakshana, there are niyamas. And to get what you want in the world, there are the rules to follow. It has become, on the name of freedom, becoming licentious, it has become a habit to us. And we are such a stupid fellows, by being licentious and not following the niyama, we are at loss that we are not able to understand. That is an arrogance. When the ignorance is added with the arrogance, the typical sample is today's world, where not even God is ready to improve or is afraid of coming to improve. Because he takes ignorance as knowledge, and that imagined knowledge he uses for arrogance, therefore is not available for the teaching. And that arrogance added with ignorance, we name it as the inquisitiveness, the ability to question, the right of information. There was Swamiji, my child asked so many questions. I'm not able to answer him. You, your child, kick that fellow. He should not ask any question. First, let him learn what to do, what you tell. After age of 15, 16, you just shut up. Your dimag is not increased. First, you do what is said full stop. And everything need not be explained. You do it, that's it, you do it. नहीं बताएंगे आपको, करना है बस, करके फायदा ले लो. Otherwise, there's no end. It's like a doctor has given medicine. Doctor, Saab, how this medicine works, why this medicine works, you explain to me. Only then I will accept your greatness, I'll accept that greatness of the medicine, and the company would produce it, then only I'll consume it, otherwise I'll not. मत ले, तू ही मरेगा. Do you need to know all those details to get the benefit of the medicine? And by knowing it also, will it help you unless you take the medicine? And will you able to end your inquisitiveness at any level? Satisfy हो जाओगे क्या? वो होगा ही नहीं उसका अंत. Even if the doctor tells that these are the R&D research people have collected these salts and experimented on this and that, first the guinea pig and rats and all, thereafter small doses given to human being, these are for those pathogens, this is the antibiotic working, इतना भी बताया फिर भी, but why? if they if this fellow asks question, it might have worked for that fellow, it may not work for me, tell me how it works to me. If they have a wrong question he asks, can the doctor answer? सी एक लेवल तक दिमाग काम करता है. जिस लेवल तक दिमाग काम करता है वहां तक दिमाग ले जाना, उसके बाद दिल को ले आना है. दिल इज फेथ. हियर वी आर सेइंग उपासना नियमार्थः. द ब्यूटी ऑफ लाइफ इज फॉलोइंग द नियम, दैट्स इट. नियम गिवन बाय द गुरु और शास्त्र. देखो, anything like I'm working in that company, then I should follow the niyama given by that company and boss, no? So this world is made by the Lord, so I have to follow the niyama given by the Lord, and the niyama given by the Lord is through Shastra. Lord only comes in the form of Guru and he teaches us all that we are seeing in our evening Bhagavat class today, very thorough. So niyama following itself is the beauty of life, not just compromising at every step and every stage. It's kindness of Lord that even though we break all the rules and niyama, still He is blessing us for survival. Otherwise, any of your cell phone or laptop or any of the electronic things, even one niyama if you don't follow, out of 1,000, do you think that apparatus will work? You know why that Kalpana Chawla died? One thing broken, a piece, only एक आधा मीटर का कुछ टुकड़ा नीचे गिरा टूट के, whatever it was. That minimum niyama broken was sufficient for all of them to get burnt and ashes in the worldly things. Little niyama broken, so much losses. Instead of putting the brake, if you put the accelerator at the time of stopping the vehicle, it's only 2 seconds you did enough to fall in the valley. Yet in our life, how many नियम तोड़ना हम कर रहे हैं, फिर भी भगवान कितने कृपालु है, is again and again resetting us. Again and again, only thing the Lord is doing is resetting all the upsets we do. He is setting up all the upsets we do. नियम से खाते नहीं, फिर ओवर ईटिंग. भगवान has to overwork and do the thing. I'm just adding the devotional aspect because it helps. Why Bhagavan said here? We are studying Upanishad Bhashya. Bhashyakara says, Upasana niyamartha. There are two niyamas here. Upasana करने का नियम है, नियम के अनुसार उपासना करने का नियम है. One rule, discipline is, niyama means discipline. Discipline of doing upasana and doing upasana as the discipline given. That is what upasana niyamartha. Why chatasro vyahrutaya, chatardaha? Why it is said again and again? वो उसी तरह से आप करो, मिक्सअप मत करना. तावा एता चतस्रश्चतुर्थाः चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः. दिस इज द मीनिंग. सो वी हैव सेड तथा एव उपासना नियमार्थः. तो पुनः उपदेश तथा एव उपासना नियमार्थः, आपको ऐसे ही करना. देन सो मेनी थिंग्स आई टेल यू, एक तो ऐड करना ही पड़ेगा। जैसा कहते हैं वैसा करने से ना दो बातें होते हैं। ये तो टेढ़ा वाला मन शांत होता है, फिर दिमाग ठंडा, मतलब अहंकार ठंडा होता है। You know, when you follow the niyama as it said, the licentious mana becomes quietened, the unnecessary arrogance becomes quietened. This is the way by which the grace is invoked. Invocation of the grace, which is continuously happening, happens when we have zero ego or less ego and zero projection of the mind or less projection of mind. Niyama follower does that. If we have in our life that way, parents or the guru chosen and total responsibility of deciding for our life what we have to do to them and follow as they say Niyamanusara, I tell you, you are the most outward successful person, inward joyful person. The biggest gain in life is to be under somebody's niyama. That is Guru. If he is a Brahmagnani, it's nothing like that. That is why the same thing put in other languages, Satsanga, Santa, Satguru, Satguru Bhakti, Satguru Saranagati, all of that. And allow him to do the niyama of you, niyantrana of you, so that he molds. He molds us to become such a great ideal from the stone, slowly. So, in this way, having said so tava etas chatasras chaturdhaha chatasras chaturtho vyahrutayaha. Up to this, the main mantras, bhashya, we have seen. Then the next one is tayo veda saveda brahma. These are the two words we have to understand. See, he says taha yathokta vyahrutihi yaha veda. The one who by the upasana has told when he practices and comes to establish in his mind the relation between the Vyahruti and the fourth Vyahruti and knows the fourth Vyahruti as Maha, Saveda Brahma, Savedaha Savejanati. Kim Vijanati? Brahma Vijanati. He alone later on will be qualified for discovering the Brahma Tattva, which is more subtler. No, these are all the internal processes. Just like anywhere in the army, when the trainer is giving training, the trainees are getting training very sublime way. The process is so beautiful that the trainer goes on increasing the level of training. If the trainee is following the niyama, he gets trained. The more he gets trained, the more he becomes qualified. The more he gets qualified, the more he is promoted. And that's how systematically by abiding by all the training rules, the one who gets trained in shortest durations, he goes on becoming upper in his ranks. That is called the confidential report. Seniority देखा जाता है साथ में. That is why for the CDS the rules are changed. Not the only chief of any of these three should become CDS, others also. The qualifications are given, the retired and all. See that beauty, niyama anusar, like any medicine. नियम से ले लो, कितना बढ़िया, 7 दिन में ठीक ही हो जाता है बीमार. 1 घंटा पहले लिया, 1 घंटा बाद में लिया, जो नहीं खाना वो खाया, जो खाना है नहीं खाया. If doctor says with this medicine you need to take 4 hours rest, you have to take. No, नहीं लिया rest, अब टीवी देखते गए. All cricket matches, if I don't see, they won't play. Then the rest is not taken, medicine won't work. उसका नियम है वो. So today's main gain for us is what? Doing the niyama as given. Here also of the upasana. Saveda Brahma. Now a question is raised by Purva Pakshi. It is little sublime. These questions have their own consequence, questions and answers. But to you and I who are less inquisitive in these things, we find as if they are not so important or relevant. I'll just read it out and leave it for tomorrow's discussion. Nanu tad brahma sa atma iti jnate brahmani. अरे in the beginning it is said that ब्रह्मा सा आत्मा. हो गया, ब्रह्म के आत्मा के रूप में पता हो गया. भूर्भुव स्वरिति वा एतास्तिस्रो व्याहृतयः तासा मोहस्मैतां चतुर्थीं महाचमस्य प्रवेदेते मह इति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा. हो गया ना. Mahayiti tad Brahma Sahatma is over. iti jnate brahmani, again na vaktavyam avignatavat. As if the Brahma is not known, why it is said again? It should not be told again. What it? Saveda Brahma iti. Saveda Brahma दोबारा क्यों बताया आपने इधर? द आंसर इज सारांश ये है। अरे भैया, आपको वो थियोरेटिकली बताया ऊपर ऊपर, साधना और अनुभव कहाँ बताया? वो बताना है ना। और वो साधना और अनुभव अगले अनुवाक में बताया जाएगा, और वो अनुवाक ये अनुवाक को जोड़कर आप समझना है। Therefore, it is not repetition or it is not the cancellation. As if in the first level he has not known, he should be told at the second level. In the first level, only is told the theory. In the second level, he'll have to be told the practice. And that practice will be told in the next Anuvaka. And this next Anuvaka should be therefore studied in connection with the earlier one. Means, earlier अनुवाक में करने वाले अंतरंग ध्यान साधना के आधार में जो वो जानता है वो ब्रह्म को जानता है बताए. It is not to cancel the earlier जानता है. Mahayiti tad brahma sa atma. To cancel that, it is not said. Again, saveda brahma iti ityadi. It is in anticipation of the early, the next anuvaka flowing sadhana. That will be told tomorrow. ये प्रश्न हो गया. जवाब हमने अपने भाषा में दी. When we study the Bhashyam, we will get a clear picture. It's only academic. Academically, student is asking, sir, वहाँ बता है ना महाइति तद ब्रह्म सा आत्मा. Again, why are you saying Tayo Veda Saveda Brahma as if he has not known? Beta, this is no told again. The only theory is said, practice I have not given, experience also not given. So in anticipation, भाई जो जानता है वो परमात्मा को पाएगा. वो पहले कह चुके हैं ना, नो जो जानता है परमात्मा मतलब किस तरह से जानता है. I am going to tell you in the sixth anuvaka. There are two ways of teaching, no? First you teach everything. Then say, therefore if you practice it, you get the result. The other way of seeing is what? Yeah, if you practice it, you will get result. But what is to practice? No, I am telling you. In this Upanishad, तुम जानोगे तो मुक्त हो जाओगे. दिस इज सेंटेंस. अब क्या जानोगे? प्रश्न विल कम. परमात्मा को कहाँ? हृदय में. So therefore, he is going to, he created inquisitiveness. Yeah, the one who knows it, he gets realized. How to know that inquisitiveness when it is asked to the Guru? Guru says, Saeshontar Hridaya Akasha Tasminnayam Purusho Manomaya Ityadi mantras they'll come. So tomorrow, that subject, when we study, we get an idea. And इसका मैं पाठ करके आपको सारांश मात्र बताकर then we enter into sixth अनुवाक. Then once it is done, all fifth and sixth put together, we again have a little more inquiry or contemplation or munching to see whether did we catch even at least little of the thought that is conveyed through this anuvak. And before that, we pray to Vyasa, Vaishampayana, Agnivalkya Rishis, and Adi Shankar Bhagavan and Gurudev, so that they give us the clear understanding. Because जब तक समझ में नहीं आता ना, तब तक हम साधना शुरू नहीं कर सकते. बात ही समझ नहीं आया तो आगे जाओ, फिर लेफ्ट ले लेना, फिर सीधा जाना, फिर पीछे आ जाना, फिर दाएं मुड़ना, फिर बैठकर सो जाना. If so many confusions are there, you won't know what to do. Clarity, there you go, by this way, to this. So too, sadhana, only when we are clear, we will be able to do. That clarity we will rethink again after doing the sixth anuvaka. In the sixth only, the Paramatma ka upalabdhi sthana and Paramatma's prapti paddhati are told. Therefore, the sixth anuvaka becomes more practical with regard to the meditation. Let's take a day or two to study it. Thank you. Sarvam samasta rishi devata charanarvindarvanamastu. Om, 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 Om. Om, 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 Om. The Paramatma, Parabrahma is eternally there, never changing, ever the same. Do we experience it? No. What do we experience now? Everything other than Paramatma. How to experience Paramatma then? Whatever I am experiencing in the world, when I reject that totally, then only I experience Paramatma, which is always there. And all those processes by which that which I am experiencing as other than Paramatma Jagat is wiped off. All that process is called as Upasana. Therefore, Upasana means undoing all the wrongdoing to remain as the pure being. Undoing all the wrongdoing to remain as the pure being. I'm always the being, the self. When so much of wrongdoing is done, through upasana, the undoing is done. Self is not created through upasana. Undoing of the doings are done. When the undoing is done by the doings, the being is recognized. It's all in the mind that the world is created, everything's. Same mind through upasana, when the Paramatma is replaced, then everything is Paramatma. Theory is there, which removes all other theory of something other than Paramatma. Then this theory, which is achieved through upasana, that everything is Paramatma, when it is taken on the seat of meditation, the theory or the thought knowledge also dissolves to give the direct experience. So, between our bondage of taking the world as real and experiencing the reality for liberation, the necessary, inevitable, in between step is upasana. In the upasanas, there are three steps. First upasana step is going to the Guru. Second upasana is listening, understanding what Guru said. Third upasana is doing what you understood. So first upasana we did coming to the class. Second upasana we are doing to understand what is said. Third we do it. What is the doing of it then? 200 times Om Bhur Mahaha. We have to chant and say the fourth Maha is the substratum for these three. So to the set of 4, they are given. Sit the eyes and remember the Ayam Loka, remember the Antariksha Loka, remember the Swar Loka, and remember the Paramatma Aditya. And again say because of the Aditya only these three lokas are there. So strongly that the greatness of Aditya is accepted in us and the dependence of these three on Aditya are recognized. So that we rise above these three lokas, our attention is on Aditya. This upasana you have to do. Third level of upasana. Second level is understanding. First level is going to the Guru. First we have done. Second we are doing. If the third is not done, then what is expected out of us, that will not be achieved. Very important. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah Paramarshibhyo Namah Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Namah Yagnavalkya Maharshi Namah Vaishampaya Maharshi Namah Adya Shankara Maharshi Namah Vedavyasa Maharshi. Dekho, I am talking to you about that person or that object. The talker me, the talked you, the subject. These are the three Vyahrutis. In and through all these three, what is there is a fourth one. You understand? To reach to that fourth while transacting, the upasana, when we do thoroughly, it will help us. Otherwise, in the world, all triputis are to entertain us, they are there, not for binding us. Forget about entertainment. We are so much bound only. We are missing it. याद रखना उपासना जो आज बताया उपासना इज अनडूइंग द अननेसेसरी डूइंग्स so that we remain the being. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow, but we have 10 minutes of Viduraniti class. Don't run away. Viduraniti is such a master text. So beautiful it is. It is a Vyavaharik Upanishad. You